This is Eunoia, spoken by Elswyth, the femdom hypnosis podcast dedicated to relationship and mind building with words. Today's Eunoia expands on our exploration of mindful meditation and creativity. For those of you who love evidence-based advice, you're going to love today's Eunoia. I take apart a study that shows the impact of two styles of meditation on two different types of thinking, both types used for creativity. This is the second Eunoia in this series, and tomorrow's Eunoia will be a planned 10-minute, anytime, almost anywhere, mindful meditation. But before we begin that, let's take a look at some of the comments and other things sent to me. You will find more on today's post on the website. B said, "You can be certain we all love you and miss you. May you be alert and focused, hydrated and healthy as you use the inestimable power of your mind and words to subdue and restrain those troublesome loose ends." That was a nice way of offering me encouragement as I took those few days off to catch up on, the everyday life work responsibilities. Okay, here is another bit. I was going to add in this question, but I'm not going to say this one on the podcast. So I'm going to be cowardly and just jump on over to S. S, who has an interesting way of spelling his name, he sent me some very bold pictures of a very intimate piercing in response to my question about chastity devices. I've never seen anything quite like that in the flesh, so to speak, but I definitely love them. And, with everything going on in the world today, it's kind of interesting they're called Prince Alberts and thankfully not Prince Philip's. That would be highly inappropriate. Before digging into the study, followed by reflection time and that so important homework and permissive circumstance announcement, take some time for yourself. See how you feel. See what you can change. Have you taken any deep breaths today? Have you stretched your arms as high as they will go, feeling your body move? If not, perhaps you should. The article on the 10 minutes a day meditation to increase your creativity, it linked to a study that I found interesting. As I mentioned, they focus on two types of meditation and two types of thinking, divergent and convergent. Focused attention meditation is when you focus on a particular thing, ignore all distractions, and continually return your focus. The second type of meditation is open monitoring. Open monitoring meditation, this is when your attention is open and flexible. You can perceive any sensation or thought that comes to your mind without forcing your attention back to an object or to your breathing. And the types of thinking? Convergent. This is about speed and high accuracy. It's when you have one possible solution to a particular problem. I'm sure you can imagine where this happens. The other type of thinking is divergent. I admit this is what I prefer. This is to brainstorm, many new ideas where more than one can be correct. An example of this might be, this focus group of, kind of a crazy focus group. Okay, testing group of 7 people, and you put a pen out and you're like, okay, gang, let's brainstorm uses for this pen. And the people come up with everything from, writing out that great American novel to a curtain rod for a dollhouse. That's the thinking of that. Okay, so while some studies, they have found evidence for a strong positive impact of meditation practice on creativity, other ones, and they link to that, found only a weak association or no effect at all. So the interesting thing is, what this study does differently, they decided to look at the methods and characteristics of the other studies. They questioned whether they were actually assessing the same construct and processes. So what this study did, to avoid addressing meditation and creativity as a whole, but rather to focus on relatively well-defined meditation techniques and specific subcomponents of creative performance, the thinking. And then what they did was they investigated the impact of the types of meditation on creativity tasks that tap into convergent and divergent thinking. Clever, right? Hopefully in all of this, you're still with me. I am trying to make a point on why adding meditation in will increase your creativity. Divergent thinking is taken to represent a style of thinking that allows, those many new ideas to be created, like the pen. Convergent thinking, it's that process of generating one possible solution to a particular problem. The example they used, they gave 3 unrelated words, and the people had to come up with the common associate. So the words are time, hair, and stretch. Got those? Time, hair, and stretch. I'll give you a moment to consider a word that applies to all 3. So the common associate is long. Long time, long hair, long stretch. So in the focused attention meditation, what they used in the study was the participants used the natural breath as the anchor to focus attention at a particular point. So an example would be, during the inhalation, bring attention to that particular area and exhale from there. The aim of instructing to focus the attention to the body part was to constantly revive the awareness and the effort of the person to sustain the intensity. It's surprisingly difficult if you've never done it. In contrast, the open monitoring meditation uses the breath to set the mind free and allow any thoughts, sensations, and emotions that arise. Opening or being open is the key concept. The first goal is to open the breath, then open the mind to any occurring thought, sensation, or emotion, and consequently expand the consciousness to where one reaches clarity. During a session, as a thought occurs, most often accompanied by an emotion or a sensation in the body, the person observes and acknowledges the experience without any judgment. So basically, you feel it, you experience it, you let it go. No judgment. This meditation, it's usually assumed to induce a relatively distributed cognitive control state, because you're not trying to focus and have attention and so on. You're just letting it happen, right? So this meditation practice, it was expected to facilitate divergent thinking, the Penn group, and not facilitate convergent thinking. And that's exactly what the data in the study showed. The individuals, they excelled in the divergent thinking after the open monitoring meditation. The other prediction they gave was that the focused attention meditation, it should facilitate convergent thinking, but not divergent thinking. And even though convergent thinking performance was best after that meditation, it wasn't really a significant increase. But here's the interesting thing. The mood scores show that both types of meditation practice elevated mood in comparable ways. And that elevated mood, it facilitates divergent rather than convergent thinking, and it may even interfere with convergent, which is interesting. It's possible that meditation practice, it affected convergent thinking in two opposite ways. The focused nature of the meditation might have improved convergent thinking, but the relaxing aspect of the procedure, it might have hampered it. But at that point, a lot of it's still speculation. Their hypothesis, they say, is motivated by the idea that particular types of meditation might establish or prime a particular cognitive control state, which then primes or interferes with the control states needed to perform a convergent or divergent thinking task. In any case, at least for divergent thinking, they were able to show that meditation has a specific impact. So this suggests that not all types of meditation have the same effect. It might also explain why previous studies, they failed to have the same outcome as they were doing their studies on how meditation and creativity went together. Importantly, it also suggests that the benefits of the open monitoring meditation, the one where you allow the thoughts and feelings without any judgment, that the benefits from that, the practice basically reconstructs the cognitive processing to a degree that it's general enough and robust enough that it can affect the performance and other logically unrelated tasks. That's pretty cool. Okay, so if you had enough thinking about thinking, let's take just a minute to reflect. During this minute, you're welcome to refocus your focus on your breath, or simply allow those thoughts to come and greet them without judgment. And afterwards, I'll tell you your homework and permissive circumstance. It's a gorgeous day here. Blue skies, white clouds, and I love a Monday. I love a do-over. I love starting fresh. So, the last homework, it involved watching the real world for 10 minutes, and I feel like I had 10 minutes of watching along with many of you, because you took the time to share with me your experience. Well done. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. So for today's homework, imagine what you would do with 10 minutes if you had unlimited creative ability and unlimited resources, but you only have 10 minutes. What would you do? And your permissive circumstance is this. You can blame this on the happy spring weather and the fact that your mistress loves Monday. Compliment someone. No, not me. And make it specific to them. It can be on a Reddit thread or your sometimes pesky cousin. One genuine compliment specific to them. So, thank you for your devotion and also the warm wishes for tomorrow's vaccine jab. I'll be sure to check in on Patreon to let you know how it went. I've never adjusted to British car life, so I'm dreading the trip there and back again. Almost more than the process of the jab itself. I am a little bit of a needle phobe, though I'm mostly over it. Anyway, this is why I prefer walking everywhere, and I need to follow my rider bunny's lead and get a decent bicycle. Anyone have recommendations for a city bike for a on the short side woman? I think my tries with the other bike, they're just not enough to give me the confidence yet to go on the actual street. Okay, have a wonderful day, and tomorrow, like I said, it won't be the typical Eunoia, but it will be a session that you will use again and again.